What's up, fam? I'm super happy to be back. Summer is here. It's July. The last time I recorded was end of March. So there's been a hiatus. I have been, in full transparency, working on myself, taking care of my mental health, and doing some reorganizing in life in general. So I will dive into that, but I did want to jump in and express my excitement. It's so nice. So nice to be here again. Thank you for listening, and I promise that this is it. We're back for good now. And I say that because my last episode, I mentioned that we'd be back bi-weekly, and it is 3 months later. I think yep, that's the math. So that has given you plenty of time to catch up on any old episodes if you were a new listener when you discovered this, or if this is your first episode. Hello, and I'm Anissa. I love this pod. It's my passion project, and the last couple months, I have been traveling, living my best life, and working on my growth. So, in April, fun times, what you missed, obviously a lot happens in a month, but one of the fun things that I was doing, and this was tied to my corporate 9 to 5 job, was a annual West Coast walking challenge. At my work, they organize one based off of the West Coast offices. They get to participate, and there's two categories. There's like you can hike or walk, or you can run or bike. And I do the hike or walk because I walk during work. I work remotely and I love to walk. So I did that one. The top 3 for each category wins a prize. Last year, I won first place. And this year, they ended up doing them by office instead of the whole West Coast region. There's a shared Excel spreadsheet, and people sign up if they want to participate. And then every Monday for the week prior, you put in the amount of miles that you walked. And there's by the end of the month it tallies it all up, and then you can see how people are doing. You can see how your competition's doing. I saw my competition and thought to myself, okay, I'm gonna do this for fun now, and I don't need to win because I don't want to stress myself out over something that's supposed to be fun, right? Even though I am very competitive. Place for the alley office, and that was fun and exciting. I did not expect that. So it was a real treat when I got the email. And we get to pick a gift online using this gift website that I absolutely love. And we'll put in the show notes since I cannot remember it off the top of my head. So that is a note I'm making to myself live because I am a one man show for the most part right now. So that is how things are. And I don't know about you, but there are times where I tell myself I have to write this down right now or I will forget it, even though I have always prided myself on having a great memory. Sometimes I feel like I'm juggling so many things in my head at once that is my issue, and I'm working on it. So, slight tangent, but this annual walking challenge is a fun way to stay active for me and also fun to win a prize, but nonetheless stay active. I get to walk more during work and I'm motivated to do so, which is only good things for me because I am primarily still walking for the most part in terms of my exercise. So I like to get a good amount of walking in if I'm not doing Pilates or other things like running around with my nieces and nephews, which is an exercise in itself when you're in your 30s. So I love that West Coast Challenge. So grateful for my employer for doing it annually and the teams that make it happen. And I also finally walked to Mount Fire, which is another personal walking challenge I was doing with an app, Fantasy Hike, and it was 1,780 miles to Mount Fire. So I completed my quest 482 days in on May 10th, 2025. And I started January 15th, 2024. So it took me over a year, but it was so fun. I beat the computers that I was walking against, which, let's be real, made me feel extra good about myself because there were times when the computer was giving me a run for my money, and I thought to myself, okay, it doesn't hurt to be a little bit more active. So thankful for that. It was really fun. Highly recommend if you need a way to keep you motivated, accountable, but lighthearted. This did the trick for me. And now walking is part of a daily routine of mine. I do it most days, and I do give myself some rest days. So I try to walk 5 miles a day, 3 to 4 times a week. And it's been keeping me healthy. And some days it's more, some weeks it's more days. So flexible with myself, but I am integrating Pilates. I've been doing more squats and some lunges. And I like to do a lot of body weight stuff, but your girl's trying to strengthen her arms and I want to stay strong. Not bodybuilder strong, but strong enough that I can carry some things to and from, let's say, the store and not feel like I did an arm workout because that's a little pathetic sometimes. Let's be real. For me, because I do like being strong. And that's enough on that part. Highly recommend if you're not walking, try to integrate it into your day to day. It is so good for the soul and the body. And you can start with baby steps. In May, I was helping my brother a lot with college. He recently graduated from high school. Super excited for him. He is on his way to NYU. He got into the Tannen School of Engineering. I'm really proud of him. He got into other schools as well, and that is where he decided to go. I am a NYU alum, and I don't talk about that often, but I did love my experience going there. I got to study abroad in two different places, and I studied abroad my whole sophomore year in Florence, Italy, and in Madrid, Spain. I took classes in Spanish in Spain, all of them but one, and lived with a senora. So I really immersed myself in the culture, which is what I wanted as a Latina, as a Mexican, someone who didn't always grow up with parents who spoke in Spanish primarily. My parents spoke in English to me primarily. They spoke Spanish around me, and was around it all my whole life because I'm 100% Mexican. So on all sides, it was there, and I always had a passion for. I always still do have a passion for knowing the language of my people, my ancestors, and my culture. So nowadays, I speak it less, but I did study it in school. In high school, I took it all 4 years. In college, I went abroad and took all my classes in Spanish so I could perfect it, and I did. I did because I am fluent. I'm rusty now, but I am fluent, and it's something I'm proud of and self-conscious of sometimes because I know where my Spanish was at one point in my life, and I know where it is now, and it's a work in progress. But nonetheless, I'm stoked for my brother. He's gonna have an amazing experience, and I can't wait to see the person he grows into. He's already awesome, but going away, moving away, especially at such a young age, it will impact you, and in my opinion, in great ways. It'll at any age to move away from your family and your bubble that you're used to, but it's possible and many people do it. There were so many international students when I went to NYU. I remember meeting throughout all 4 years, but especially freshman year, and some of them are coming from even farther away. So it is a melting pot of a city and community and super fucking awesome. I loved going to school there. There are positives and negatives with every experience in life, but my takeaway is that I had a great experience and it challenged me. It was not easy, but it's made me who I am today. So I love that. And to anyone experiencing a new beginning, this episode is for you. I wanted to take the time to talk about new beginnings and letting go and 10 habits to help you navigate life with confidence. I'm stoked for this episode, and my positive thoughts and good vibes go out to all people that are trying to better themselves. It shouldn't be this hard to get a good education, nor cost as much money as it does in America, primarily, but in general, in the world, it shouldn't be this difficult. Sadly, this is where we are right now, but it's not where we will always be, hopefully. And when one door closes, another always opens if you look for it. This is something I said to my brother in his where am I going to go to college days that are past us now. But it's true. Sometimes you expect something or you want something and you have your sights set on it, and the answer is no. And that's devastating. And you need to sit with that and let yourself feel what you feel. But if you truly want something, you got to look for that opportunity, that other door that can get you there. Maybe not the path that you wanted to take or that you thought was going to be the best path for you, but it's a path nonetheless. And I think it's a good reminder to us all that there are going to be doors that are closing. Man, it feels like there's doors that are closing every day, some days, if you look at the whole world and just the madness. But there are other doors that are opening for us, and there is still light at the end of the tunnel. So I don't mean to sound super dramatic, but this is me being my authentic self. And this is the shit that I say to my family and my boyfriend and people around me when needed. So, and myself. So, with that being said, I have been very reflective lately. Lots of things have triggered that, and that's great. I have also continued my therapy, and that has been really good for me to learn how to manage all of these passions in my life and goals. And let's wrap up this school conversation. You don't need to get in debt to get a good education. A mentor of mine in high school gave me a great piece of advice that sticks with me to this day. And she said, and this is paraphrasing, obviously, because I was told this about 15 years ago. So she said, don't choose a college just for the name. Think about the environment you want to be in and the experience that you want to have, and let that help guide your choice. The journey is important, not just the end result. And sometimes the shiny name or the shiny object seems like, yeah, that's it, because that's all people are going to care about. But you have to think about you living in that environment every day. What's going to be an environment that's going to help you thrive, get you excited, make you feel safe, and maybe help you get closer to the ideal version that you want to be or your ideal future. You don't have to have all those things answered. but think about those things that are gonna motivate you and make you help you stay your authentic self as you navigate a new chapter in your life and journey, and what's gonna put you on the best path to get there. And have some happy moments, because what's it worth if you're just stressed all the time or miserable or doing something for someone else for you gotta keep you in mind. Gotta fill your cup up first and fill others, but definitely have enough in your cup. So there's so many ways in today's age to build your network, and that's one of the beautiful things about where we are technology wise in the digital age. There are some scary things going on. Not gonna spend too much time on that right now, but take advantage of social media, take advantage of platforms that can help you stay connected with people. LinkedIn, I've had a LinkedIn since I was in college and I still use my LinkedIn. I love my LinkedIn. It's cool to see over the course of my career how I have grown and the network that I'm building and the cool people that I've gotten to interact with, and there's just all good things. There's lots of ways to stay in contact with people. Social media is one of them, but there's also basic email. So a little goes a long way. Build your network. It starts with you. You can't expect anyone to build it for you, in my opinion, as someone who is self-made. I you got to put the work in yourself. I was the first in my family to attend a 4-year university, let alone one 3,000 miles away. And that left me homesick for sure, but I inevitably fell in love with New York City. I traveled, I loved the experience. I met some of my best friends that are still my best friends. I met my people out there. I have people in California as well, but I met new people, and I am grateful for the experience. I made the move back to California after living in New York for 12 years, not because I didn't like it, but because life, and I have talked about this in other episodes, but things change, cost of living, and I wanted to also be closer to my family and my nieces and nephews, my parents, my siblings. So, lots of reflecting, precisely nowhere is the way that I like to pay it forward. When it comes to being a content creator, I like putting content out there that's adding to the world, that's helping people live their best lives and contributing to the greater good, because I want to be a human that does that. And when I look back and I'm really old one day, I want to be proud of the contributions that I've made towards the world. That's not just the pod, but just in general with the passions that I have outside in my personal life and building community. And I feel like I'm almost ranting, but I'm just so passionate and I am embracing and enjoying life, practicing ways to stay present. And this pod is a huge way for me to do that. So thank you for listening. Thank you for being a part of this journey. And I hope that you stick with me. And if it vibes with you, always only if it vibes with you, because it doesn't vibe with everyone, and that's okay. But I hope you stick with me in this journey of growth, because it's challenging some days, but so rewarding. I think a part of me lost sight of that in my 20s. I was growing and hustling, but there were moments when I have I may have let fear, and maybe I may have, I think I did, let fear guide me. There's a difference between trusting your gut and letting your fear hold you back from something. And I think there were times when I let my fear hold me back because I never knew navigating life as a badass bitch in the corporate world and also badass bitch outside of the corporate world. And well, I did personally, but not with a creative passion that I dedicated my time to. So, new things and new experiences. Podcasts were around, but I wasn't listening to them yet. I wasn't on the podcast train yet. Not that it's a train, but I do love podcasts outside of being a content creator. I do genuinely love them. So I hadn't understood the hype yet. And that's on me. These 10 habits that I'm going to share will help you live your best life and navigate life with confidence. They help me in my journey and have helped me with new life chapters, unexpected pivots, a basic normal day in your day to day. And it's important for us to remember that our habits and our actions that we take and make every day have an impact in how we walk through life. And there are a lot of little ways that we can be more intentional if we choose to be to help us get to a point where we feel like we're thriving and living our best lives and in love with ourselves and fully confident. And that's where I like to be. I love to be, and not in a narcissistic way, but I love to show love to myself because there have been many years when I was lacking on that some days and I was putting my energy towards other things that weren't always filling my cup up. And now that I'm in the space where I am more intentional with my energy and my actions and my habits, it's a beautiful space that I am loving and want to do my part in helping others find those spaces for themselves. So, habit number one is embrace a growth mindset. You will face challenges. You can either tackle them with a yes and, aka a growth mindset, and keep keep it moving and figure it out, or I no thanks, I better not, aka a fixed mindset or an attitude. And there's nothing wrong with saying no to something, but there is a difference with saying yes and embracing something that may align with your overall ideal version of you or ideal life plan or just your vibe and energy. So give it a shot, embrace the growth mindset. I promise you it's going to help you get closer to where you want to be in life. Number two, leverage your superpower. We're all unique individuals and have our own superpowers. So, what is yours? One of my superpowers is talking. I think that I have the gift of gab. And by I think I know I have the gift of gab. I have a way of connecting with people. It happens when I don't even want it sometimes, but nonetheless, I always try to lean into it. There are times when I wanna just not connect, and that's when I'm, like, binge watching TV. I'm watching Love Island, and I'm in the zone, but from going to a farmer's market or sitting next to someone on an airplane to this pod to my corporate 9 to 5 job and my family, I love the chat and I love connecting with people. And I have an ability to connect with people sometimes in a very short amount of time on a deeper level. And that is one of my superpowers. So, what is yours? I would love to hear. So, if you want to DM me on Instagram, please do. I would love to hear your superpowers and share some of them in a future episode. Walk a path that feels authentic to you. We have a gut for a reason. If something feels misaligned to your authentic self, learn to recognize that and know you only control you and can change the path you're walking on. And life is too long and life is too short at the same time to walk a path that doesn't feel authentic to you. We get one chance in life. I do believe in reincarnation and, I am spiritual, but I don't think we're seeing the other metaverses anytime soon. So keep that in mind. Never forget that every day is a blessing. It truly is. So, you know, live your best life. Number 4 is give yourself and others grace. We are all living beings on this earth, and sometimes forgiving ourselves is harder than forgiving others, but practicing both is healthy for us to be in the best mental state, in my opinion. I've been there where I am incredibly hard on myself and beating myself up over something that's so small or maybe out of my control, but I've already managed to give others grace, or vice versa, where you're like hung up on something and you can't see yourself forgiving that person because they made you feel this certain way that may be so awful and like terrible inside, but you can choose to keep carrying that hate. And I think about it like that darkness, that cloudiness. I think it's really important that we still find moments to give ourselves grace and give others grace, because we don't know what anyone is going through and we can't assume. And that takes us to number 5, which is be present. One of my aunts that passed away a few years ago gave me this life lesson. Not directly, but through her passing, I learned this, and that's the nature of death, right? Everyone grieves differently and it impacts everyone differently. But she was such an amazing person and human, and there is not a day that goes by when I don't think about how kind of human she was and how she had so many more years to live, but unfortunately ultimately was sick with breast cancer. So sometimes life life happens and we can't control things, but it's so important to be present. She was present and she was so kind, and I think of her every day when I think about what I really want out of life and the life that I want to live and the person that I want to be. And it is someone that does not forget to be present and to enjoy life while it's happening now, not in 15 years. Don't wait for that thing. Go for it if you can go for it. You never know what tomorrow brings, and you can miss out on moments when you're not present in the littlest of ways. Being on your phone while someone's talking, that's one of my pet peeves when people are like on their phone actively when I'm having a conversation with them, because I'm like, hello, hi. Like, I can multitask sometimes too, but I know when I'm texting while someone's talking, I'm not fully present because I'm doing two things at once. So being present is a huge thing for me. It's something that I'm working on because I'm finding that the moments that I do embrace it, I feel so fulfilled. And I feel like I'm really connecting with other people and myself, and that is a vibe. So that brings us to number 6, practice gratitude. I may be on repeat right now, but I don't care because it's all good vibes. And we can choose to embrace that each day is a gift and focus on that aspect and less on what doesn't go our way. We really can. It feels hard in the moment, but gratitude is a mindset, and I'm learning to embrace more gratitude. I have been doing it throughout my life, but in my late 20s and early 30s, I am consciously keeping that word top of mind because it's so easy nowadays with Amazon Prime and everything being immediate or just to expect a lot out of life and to not be grateful for the little things. And it's in moments of grief or sadness that we oftentimes, I think, remember to be grateful, but I want to practice that gratitude in my day to day because it does bring good vibes into my life and I am here for them. I can't get enough of them. So, highly recommend you try to practice gratitude more in your life. Maybe you're doing it already. I have found that the more I do it, the more I am thriving and feeling like my best self. Number 7, lean on your tribe. Your tribe can be one person or many. Figure out who they are and lean on them. You can have a tribe all over the world. I have tribes sprinkled around all over the world. They don't need to be IRL, aka in real life, but I think it is important for us to all have our tribe and have those people we know we can confide in that provide us with that safe space. And if you have that, even in your dark days and those days that you really need someone else to help you lift you up, you'll have that. Reach out to your tribe if you haven't talked to them in a while. Give a shout out, send a lifeline, check in. Don't forget to check in with them too. It's good to lean on them, but it's also good to be someone that they can lean on because it takes a village and we need community. Number 8 is follow your curiosity. I truly believe that in order for anyone to get anywhere in their life, a little curiosity is necessary. It's an ingredient to help you live your best life and navigate life with confidence. Look around at how many iconic and historic figures have made something of themselves by following their interests and passions. If you look around and think about it, you will find so many people. It's easy to put curiosity aside, in my opinion, when we enter adulthood, and that's from personal experience. But having rediscovered mine with this pod, especially, this is a message to my younger self and anyone who's listening to follow your curiosity, ideally within reason. Let's not do anything illegal or harm others, but please, thank you. Learn a new language or take up an instrument, go skydiving. You never know what it's going to bring you. And if it's aligned with your authentic self and in that category of, is this going to be something that helps me live my best life? And if it is, then follow it and be present when you're doing it. And after you've followed your curiosity, habit number 9 is allow time for rest. Rest is so important. Our brains and our bodies need to recharge and rest. So keep that in mind. Be kind to your body and your brain. I haven't always needed rest because I was so on the go in my early 20s. I was like, I could be on the go all day, night owl. And now I'm at a point in my life where I know that rest is an essential part of my weekly and daily habits some days. Well, mostly every day because I rest a little bit every day. And that's normal. There's nothing wrong with resting. There are times when I'm on the go for weeks at a hand, and then I hit a wall where I know, okay, my body needs to rest, my brain needs to rest. I need to reset and recharge, get back to be one with myself, and that way I can show up for others. And that is normal and okay. So I'm actively doing it as I'm recording this episode. I spent the weekend at home. I did things around the apartment. I did some cleaning, some decorating. I binged TV. I spent time with my boyfriend, and we hadn't done that in, I want to say, maybe a month because the previous month have has been really busy. I was traveling. I saw some girlfriends. I went to Arizona for a girls trip, which I'm going to chat more about in the next episode. I went to Seattle for work, which was awesome. My boyfriend's brother was visiting us, so we were doing a lot of fun things, but haven't had a weekend to ourselves in a minute. So, we took some rest together and also individually. Highly recommend. And if you are in a partnership or dating someone, or even if you have roommates, keep that in mind. Ideally, you want to be in an environment, especially when you're home, where the person that you're with allows you that time to rest. It's so important that we take care of ourselves. The better we take care of ourselves, the more we're going to be able to help others. And community is so important, especially with the state of the world. So do what you need to do, boo, to get that rest. Number 10, last but not least, think of the greater good. You want to live your best life. How about you do it while you think of the greater good? We are all on our own journey, but we are also on this planet together. So don't forget to think about the greater good and other living beings, not just people, but animals and insects and the ocean, like living trees. The list goes on. At times, I find a lot of days people are only thinking about themselves, and I'm not trying to sound negative or accusatory, but it does feel like that some days. That's my hot take. It might be a hot take to think of the greater good and that being a habit that you have to practice to live your best life. So I don't want to make anyone feel bad or put anyone down if people aren't doing that. You can definitely, I'm sure, still live your best life. These are my thoughts and my some habits that I practice, and I wanted to share them with you. It's been nice to practice being present. So, in the spirit of that, current hairstyles that I'm loving, personally for myself, because I'm rocking some bangs, straight across bangs, and my hair is long right now, naturally wavy. I have been doing half ponytails. I remember having my hair in half ponytails when I was younger, and it had been a minute since I rocked a half pony, but I've been doing it on the regular and loving them. And sometimes I'll grab less hair than more. We all have different hair types, but with my hair type, it's not good to wash my hair every day. I'm actually washing out nutrients and it doesn't need it. It doesn't get oily that quickly, thankfully. So on my wash days, I have been French braiding my hair, usually in one French braid. I'm working on my two braids. They're not as good as my one French braid some days, and I will leave it all day. I'll wash my hair in the morning, French braid it, leave it in that day, sleep in it, re-braid it the next morning and leave it in all day. And then on day 3, I'll let it out and it's like very wavy, it'll natural waves. So cute. And then I'll do my half ponies typically. So that's been my hairstyle routine. And that's been getting me to about washing my hair every like 5 days. So 2 days in braids, 3 days in half ponies, and I'm starting to try other hairstyles as well. It's been a lot of years. It's been I want to say at least 5 years, if not longer. It's been about 5 years since my hair has been as long as it is, and it's just past my maybe middle of my back. I had my hair short for many years and all lengths. So this is how long it's been. It's been fun. It is low effort for me and great for my lifestyle. I work from home. The blunt bangs with the long hair go a long way, keeps it stylish, yet allows me to have low effort hairstyles because of the natural wave of my hair as well. I've been loving the blunt bangs. Summer is tricky with them because I get sweaty and they're more work to keep looking nice and fresh some days. But my hairstylist gave me a great tip to carry a little comb with me. So I usually put one in my fanny pack and in my purse when I am out and about so I can do a quick little brush with them. So that is a pro tip I'm sharing here with the fam. And I have a few coworkers and clients with the same bangs, and everyone rocks them. So I'm loving this blunt bangs. I'm starting to debate on whether or not I'm going to keep them for the fall. I got them in January, so it's been about 6 months, and I still love them, but I am starting to get tempted to grow them out. So I will keep everyone posted. But that is it for today's episode. I promise I have lots of recs in the next episode for things that I've been watching. I will say one of them today and give you the rest next episode. But The Phoenician Scheme, if you haven't watched it, it's a Wes Anderson film currently in theaters when this episode airs. So check it out. It has a star studded cast: Benicio del Toro, Scarlett Johansson, Mia Threepleton, Michael Cera, Tom Hanks, Benedict Cumberbatch. The list goes on. Jeffrey Wright. Oh, Riz Ahmed. Oh my God, I love Riz Ahmed so much. It is so good. You should definitely watch it. And it is comedy and adventure. Love Wes Anderson. If you're not familiar with his movies, they're usually pretty whimsical. There's usually eccentric architecture, interior design, style. It is so good. Highly recommend The Phoenician Scheme. And that is spelled, Phoenician is spelled Phoenician, scheme, Scheme. It recently came out. It's so good. If you want to check out his other movies, highly recommend Isle of Dogs. That one's really great. That one's animated. That one came out in 2018. The Grand Budapest Hotel is one of, at this point, I would say one of his classic films. Um, The French Dispatch. That one's really good. My boyfriend was actually watching that recently. That came out in 2021. There are so many other movies. The list could go on, but those are some that I love. Not all my favorites, but some that I love. I have more recs for you next episode. And I hope you all have a wonderful week. Thank you for listening. I'm excited to be back. There are a lot of TV recs coming your way in next episode, and I will be giving tips on decorating on a budget and with a purpose based on some of my recent personal life activities and owning your power. We'll be talking about that as well in July. So, if you're sensing a theme, it is all around new beginnings, letting go, and living our best lives, navigating life with confidence. And it's summertime. This is my favorite time of the year. I'm a summer baby. Virgo season is near. We're not there yet, but we're getting there. And I hope you have a wonderful week. Every day is an opportunity for a new beginning. Life is filled with new beginnings if you think about it in that sense. And every day is an opportunity for us to also let something go. There are new beginnings. There are lots of opportunities for us to embrace new things, let go of what doesn't serve us, and habits that we can take to navigate life with confidence. I hope you enjoy this episode and I hope it brought some good vibes into your day. And I can't wait to be back for next episode. I have a lot of TV recs in store for you and some tips on decorating on a budget and with a purpose. There are interview episodes as well in the works. So, thank you so much for listening. I hope that you will continue to listen, vibe with the content, and grow with me. Chat soon. I love you all.
Music and editing done by Marco. You can find him at midnight, MIDNITE_mind80 on Instagram for more of his work.